record on this computer. Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Rainbow Council Roundtable. We're having breakout sessions, and today we have Amanda Carlson with PAC 476 out of Morris, and she's going to talk to you about scouting with special needs.
Hey everyone, thank you for being here with me tonight. This is not how I envisioned presenting this, but I appreciate everyone coming. And the reason I created this presentation was to complete my Wood Badge ticket. My whole ticket revolved around scouting with special needs, and this is the very last piece. So I'm excited to present it to you guys tonight. The purpose of this presentation was for unit leaders to have a resource that they could take to their units to utilize to create a more special needs friendly environment within our council. It's not to give you every single detail. I will point you in the right direction to where you can find the things, but this is just a general overview of how you can make your unit more special needs friendly. We're going to discuss what a disability is, disabilities within BSA, Cub Scout advancement, Scouts BSA advancement, venturing advancement. I did not do Sea Scouts because I do not think we have any Sea Scouts within Rainbow Council. We'll touch on planning and accommodations, and then I'll give you guys some resources that you can take back to your units. So a disability is a condition that limits a person's mobility, hearing, speech, or mental function. You can't always see them. When I started working on my ticket, one of the things that I did was I created a survey for special needs parents, and it was anonymous. I started within my unit, and then I kind of moved it out from there. I went to district council, and then I opened up to the entire US within the Cub Scout volunteer group. When I started the survey within my own unit, there were many more responses than I expected. So chances are you guys have children in your units that you don't realize have a special need. According to the BSA National Committee for Disabilities Awareness, 1 in 6 kids in scouting has a special need or a disability. And really, you know, we're flexible, so we're the perfect kind of activity or program for kids that have special needs to come to. So we'll start with Cub Scouts. This one's easy. In Cub Scouts, we do our best. If a scout tries to complete the requirement, no matter what the end result looks like, it's complete. You don't need to fill out paperwork. There's nothing. It's just they did their best. That's it. There are sometimes special cases where a scout can't even attempt to participate in the activity. So the Cub Master and the PAC committee have the ability to decide an appropriate substitution. Again, there's no paperwork. That is up to their discretion. If the scout attempts that activity, then it's considered complete. And you can read more about that on the advancement for members with special needs, and I have the number down there. It's quite a lengthy web page, so I'm just going to touch on points of that page for each different advancement, and you guys can look that up. I was going to share the page with you, but I don't want to click off my presentation. Can you hear me? It said I was muted.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So now we'll move on to Scouts BSA, and this is where it gets a little bit trickier. And these, like I said, these are just the major points of this quite lengthy web page that you can go to. So rank requirements must be completed as written. There's no changing those requirements. They have to be completed as written. There may be alternate requirements for Scout, Tenderfoot, second class, or first class if the Scout has a permanent or cognitive disability or is beyond the age of eligibility, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and they can't complete the requirements written. That is a very broad overview of the rank requirements, and you can, I can't see the numbers at the bottom because you guys are covering it, but if you go to the advancement for special needs, for members with special needs 10.2 point whatever it is, you can read the full list of stipulations for rank requirements. To apply for alternate requirements, they have to complete as many as possible before applying, and you have to submit a request in writing to your advancement committee, council advancement committee. And you also have to come up with a suggested alternate requirement. So one of the ones I read about was if a Scout needs to hike a certain number of miles and they use a wheelchair, you know, they can ride that certain number, you know. And then they also ask for a letter from parents, youth leaders, and medical professionals to accompany the application. Merit badges. They also must be completed as written. You can't change any of the requirements. You can, however, request alternative merit badges for any that a Scout might not be able to complete. So if a Scout can't swim or hike or cycle or something like that, you can request an alternate similar merit badge for the Star Life and Eagle rank. I can't, sorry. Gotta move, you guys. If the Scout has a permanent disability, which I think they count permanent disability as 2 years or more, or is over the age of eligibility. To apply for alternative merit badges, they have to complete as many of the required ones as possible. There's an application for alternative Eagle Scout rank merit badges that goes to your district advancement committee. And they ask you to include supporting documents such as IEPs, letters from parents, medical professionals, unit leaders regarding the nature of the Scout's disability. And that is under 10.2.20. And there is much more information included on the website regarding this. Okay, for venturing or Sea Scouts that are working on the Star Life or Eagle rank, they follow the same procedure outlined in the Scouts BSA alternative merit badges for Eagle Scout rank. For the Venturing Award, they must meet all of the requirements written. There's no substitutions or alternatives except were already outlined in the venturing requirements. And that is in advancement for members with special needs 10.2.3.0. And again, there's a lot more information on their website. Age of eligibility. We all know Cub Scouts, they age out at 11. Scouts BSA is 18 and venturing is 21. If a youth is considered to have a severe or permanent disability, they may be allowed to register beyond the age of eligibility for the program. It's quite a lengthy thing, so I just kind of touched on it here. You can read about that on 10.1.0.0, and the purpose of registering beyond the age of eligibility is it's intended to be a permanent arrangement to allow them to participate in the scouting program permanently. These are just some tips and ideas I put together when you're considering planning events for your Scouts with special needs. Things to consider: how accessible is the location? Is there wheelchair ramps, a sensory friendly area, braille signs, things like that. Dietary needs: is there an alternate menu? Do you need to, if you're camping, do you need to have separate pots and pans for, allergies or gluten sensitivities? Is the schedule flexible? If a scout's having a hard time, can you take a break? Can you come back to this activity? Allow ample break time in case a scout is overwhelmed. Maybe have an idea for alternate activities for scouts who might not be able to complete an activity or need something else to do for a little while if they're overwhelmed. Break up talk time, get them moving in between lengthy talking points, and make sure you choose locations with elevators, ramps, and accessible bathrooms. Before you take your scouts out, know their needs, be familiar with the location, scout it out ahead of time, have a backup plan in case things don't go as you planned when you get there, because we all know that happens all of the time, even when you're not planning for scouts with special needs. Consider any safety issues that may come up when you're with your scouts. Be aware of any personal care issues that might come up. Emergency contact information, I know we all have that with us anyway. Try to arrange for extra leadership if you think you might need, a more, if a scout might need somebody to assist them in an activity or all activities. Ask for parents to be there. If you feel like the scout's going to need an extra help, ask their parent to come. Prepare extra equipment and gear ahead of time, and make sure you have appropriate transportation. So here's just a few of the resources that I use and came up with when I was putting this together. Parents are always going to be your best resource. They know their child. Some things that you can ask them about are strengths their children have, weaknesses their children have, triggers, too much noise or something like that. Things the scout likes and dislikes. Any concerns the parent might have, and ask them to attend meetings with them until, the scout is comfortable. You should never ask for a diagnosis though. BSA resources that I came up with, and they have quite a lengthy list of resources on their website. However, most of them are being rewritten and are not on the website right now. Some of the ones that you can access right now is the Guide to Advancement, Introduction to Working with Scouts with Special Needs and Disabilities, and the Abilities Digest is awesome. I don't think they publish it anymore, but there is a lot of good information in there for you guys. Applications and forms that you might need when you're working with special needs scouts, individual scout advancement plan. It's kind of like an IEP for scouting. Requests for registration beyond the age of eligibility, and the application for alternative scout rank merit badge. And that can all be found on scouting.org. Our district and council advancement is also very helpful. Our council advancement chair is Lynn Zumstein, and Esmeralda might have to remind me who WAPI's advancement chair is. I want to say
it's Rich Davis.
Rich Davis, yes. And Ishkote's is Mike Whaler. Yes, okay. They're always there for you guys. If you need anything, they are there to assist you. Now on to the scouts. There are merit badges and belt loops for scouts because they're an important part of this equation too. It's important to educate them to be accepting and welcome special needs scouts into the program. For Cub Scouts, the Wolf elective is Cubs Who Care, and for Webelos, the pin is Aware and Care. Scouts BSA is the Disabilities Awareness Merit Badge, and if you ever need a counselor, I am happy to come to your unit and present that for you. It takes me 2.5 to 3 hours, and there are some prereqs. So if you're ever interested in that, let me know and we can set that up. I did this for my troop, and it's really useful if you're also involved with the Cub Pack. If you have them, the troop do the Disabilities Awareness Merit Badge, and then they can use one of the requirements for that to present the Cub Scout belt loops and pins at a pack meeting. It works really well. So if you're ever interested in that, let me know. If you'd like to use this presentation for your units, there is a PDF of it at this address, bit.ly 476 Special Needs Scouting. I'm happy to email you the PowerPoint version of it as well. My fonts weren't playing nicely when I uploaded it, so I just uploaded the PDF of it, but send me an email and you can have the PowerPoint too once I figure out how to make the fonts play nicely with me. And of course, there's always additional resources available on scouting.org. And that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
No, I don't have any questions.
I appreciate you all coming.
It's very informative. Good job.
Thank you.
Don't want everybody talk at once.
We're enjoying hearing the birds.
So let me ask you this, Amanda. What do you recommend a scout leader, if the scout leader or the den leader notices something and nothing was disclosed? How would you know?
That's really tricky because, like I said, when I did this for my unit, there was a lot more responses than I thought there was going to be on that survey. It's some families don't like to talk about it, and you know that's okay too if they're not comfortable. I would, you know, my recommendation would just to be, understanding and say, hey, I noticed that little Jimmy is having a hard time sitting still during tech meetings. Is there anything that I can do to make this more comfortable for him? Just, just be accepting and understanding and just see if there's something that you can do to help. And like I said, the advancement committee is always a good resource to ask those kinds of questions too also, and your district executive also. Oh, I remembered something that I was going to say. Another good resource is Rainbow Council puts on a Disabilities Awareness Day every February. We do it. I do the merit badge portion, and there's a great group of leaders who do an adult portion. This is the second year that we've done it, and we plan on continuing this every year. So look for that next February also.
Yeah, I went to the adult one this year. It was really good. Some really good discussions there. But there were only like 5 adults in the class. So I don't know how we celebrate that more and get it out there so people will come, because it was really good.
Yeah.
And I think both of them were out near Kankakee the last
Right.
2 years. So they were talking about maybe.
We've talked about maybe like traveling with it to reach more people, because it's a drive out there for a lot of us. So yeah.
So if there are scouts with noted disabilities, they've shared this with the main pack leadership and they've shared this with their den leader, how much should we share, if anything, with other leaders? So like if we're having the activities chair running a hike, or some other den leaders inviting that den on an activity, should we be sharing this information? How much can we share? Suggestions on that?
I can't say that I really know the BSA answer to that one. Even through all of my research, my personal gut tells me that you should ask the parents how much they want to share and with who.
Okay.
So from the BSA side, there should be for all events the medical form,
Mhm.
and the unit leader should be aware of what's on the medical form,
Mhm.
and it's kind of their discretion as to what needs to be shared for the safety and well-being of that scout. If you're not sure, talk to the parent.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking, Angelique, is how much is on the medical form, since they're really pushing the updates on those coming across to whoever is leading the hike or leading the pack day.
Mhm.
How much information are you supposed to, is someone to have those forms with them?
Yeah, so at all times, there's supposed to be one leader in your unit that has read over all of the medical forms and is aware of what's going on or what potentially could go wrong, or, you know, if there's a scout that has some needs that need to be met. And if that unit leader is not present, then another unit leader needs to be aware and have looked over that. To make sure that the scouts are being served properly for safety reasons. So yes, the binders should go, all those forms should go with one adult. They're not generally accessed by everybody, just one adult needs to be aware of what scouts needs are there.
Mhm.
That
Would-
doesn't
would-
mean they share it with everybody freely. That means they're aware and can make, you know, be aware of the situation and know what's going on. And if at any time there's any uncertainty, that's when you need to talk to the parent.
So if you've made certain accommodations, or if you have some, you know, not an advancement IEP, but a behavioral IEP agreement with the family, should that be documented and shared in that as well? So that, you know, the hike leader knows, you know, we don't shout if he gets off the trail, you know, loud noises are an issue, that kind of thing.
Yes.
See
I-
where you want to use the individual scouting plan.
Hmm.
You know, our council doesn't officially use it, but it might be something that you can include in your own files and keep with the medical forms.
Okay.
But, you know, please talk with the parents about how they want it handled, because every family is different and every
Yeah.
family may want it handled differently. Some might
Yeah.
prefer that nothing be shared, and others might prefer that everybody knows and is on the same page. Basically, you have to make sure at least one adult there knows what's going on, so that they can say, hey, how about we all go do this, and redirect if needed, without necessarily anybody else knowing.
Especially if you have a scout who has certain triggers, especially those loud noise triggers or sensory triggers, that definitely needs to be disclosed to whoever's in charge of whatever activity that leader is in charge of.
Yeah.
Because those triggers are the ones that can either make or break that child into scouting.
Yeah. And also the safety of that scouting at that event too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good questions. Anybody else? Okay, well, Amanda, thank you very, very much for presenting. We will make sure that this recording is available to everyone at council. And if you have any questions, I'm sure Amanda would be very, very happy to help you answer them in the future. As would your commissioner for your unit, as would the advancement chairs for the district and the council level. There are lots of people here to help, and all you have to do is ask.
Thank you guys. I
Thanks,
appreciate
everyone.
it.
Thank
Good
y'all
job. Good
for
luck on your wood
coming.
badge. Good job.
Good job.
Thanks.
Nicely done.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.